Yes, people, what is going on? Chelsea have just beaten Norwich 1-0. A little review for you after the game from my point of view and where we stand and everything. Massive 3 points, obviously. As of course we know, it's a huge 3 point for us. And obviously with the 2 games we've got to come up is going to be very tough and very testing. But I'm looking forward to it. And I think obviously with Leicester obviously being behind us and such like that. And of course Man United and Leicester having to play each other. We have to obviously play Wolves. It's still in our hands, it's still in our control, which is great, which is obviously the most important thing. But actually, the game itself, I thought we were poor in major areas. I thought that there was a lot of lacklustre and average performances today. Weirdly enough, the goal's actually just coming up. It's a really good delivery, sorry, I should say, from Pulisic to Giroud, and Giroud does well to beat his man and get him behind and score the way he does. And I don't think Tammy would have done that. I thought actually Tammy, when he came on, was... Although he had limited service and limited opportunities, I didn't think he offered us quite the same impact and quite the same presence as Giroud did. Even Giroud, when he was tired, offered more in the game than I thought Tammy did for the time that he was on. I mean, that's maybe slightly harsh, but that's just the way I felt. I felt that we went. But we allowed pressure onto ourselves way too easily. Way too easily. Jorginho, I thought, should have been subbed very early on into the second half. I thought Mount was the person that I would have brought on, and maybe that's something that there's maybe showing for Sunday. Maybe he wants Mount to be fully fit to maybe try and break the other way against Fred and or whoever, Fred, Matic, Pogba, Fernandes. There's going to be a lot of pressure going forward, Man United, on us. So we have to be able to deal with it defensively. And I think one of the big parts for that is obviously Mount being able to drive the ball up the pitch as well as we know he can. But I still would like to have seen that sub be made, if that makes sense. Because I do think we allowed too much pressure onto ourselves. Jorginho, again, did slow the game down. Kovacic, you could see, was very tentative with how far up he pushed. And Loftus-Cheek, I thought, was poor. I'll be honest, I know people have said this opinion before, and I know I've definitely said this opinion before. I don't think Loftus-Cheek has quite got what he needs to be able to be elite in that position, in that central midfield role. I don't think he's going to be elite. And I actually think a lot of the game today came down to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and there was loads of opportunities, especially in the second half, when we were coming forward. Willian and Pulisic, they broke, and Giroud did well. Obviously, he was starting to tire later on into the game. He was doing all right to come forward, but the runners from midfield were non-existent, and a big part of that was Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Kovacic, you can tell maybe had been told to stay back, but Loftus-Cheek should have been a lot quicker into the box. Even as a late runner, he was so late. It was ridiculous, actually. Callum Hudson-Odoi, I wasn't that impressed with him when he came on. He doesn't run at people anymore. He doesn't take people on. It's not that same level of excitement that I was expecting. It was just a very irritating performance for a lot of reasons from a Chelsea point of view. There was a fair few chances that we had that we missed. And I really don't feel that we attacked with the same impetus. And we made the game a lot harder for ourselves. One of my main predictions I had was, if we go and win the game, we go and win it early doors, then we'll be fine, you know, and we go and play a full strength 11 and really go and attack them and go 2 goals, even 3 goals up, and then we can just make subs and play the way we know we can. But it was weird when one of our main threats and one of our most attacking options that we had was actually winning set pieces, which we haven't done a lot this year at all. And Zuma, Rudiger, both of them got their head to balls very well. And Giroud did as well. Of course, Giroud's goal was a header. But it still was alarming, the fact that it took that to be one of our most attacking threats, pretty much. So, yeah, it was made a lot harder than it needed to be. I'm obviously happy that we got the 3 points. It's a huge 3 points for us. And it now puts the pressure on those 2 teams behind us, and Wolves as well, who I think are going to be struggling. But, again, it puts the pressure on them, definitely. So, yeah, just a little Rats review for you. Take care, stay safe, up the Chelsea. Make sure you subscribe to Blues Fans TV and Crago28 Sport. Let's see if Sammy leaves that in. Take care, guys, up the Chelsea.
Hi guys, I'm here today to talk about my Chelsea versus Norwich review. Now, first things first, get it out of the way. We got the 3 points, it had to be done, and we went and done it. So, fair play, Chelsea. You did what you had to do. Lampard, I think, got the lineup pretty much spot on. I didn't really enjoy seeing that midfield for me. Not a big Jorginho fan. I would much rather have seen Mount in there. And today, I think we did miss Mount. This was a game where Mount can chase down the Norwich defenders and put them under pressure. And we didn't really have much urgency today. and that shows in the scoreline 1-0. Obviously, like I said, I'm gassed for 3 points. Obviously, after Bournemouth's result against Bournemouth's result against Leicester and Southampton's result against United, it did Chelsea a favour. It put us on a plate to go and win this game and maintain top 4 for another few days or whatever it is, depending on other results. I know we've got Liverpool and Wolves to face now. They're both pretty much must-win games just to ensure that we do get top 4. I mean, we might be able to get away with a draw on one of them. But yeah, the only downside to today's performance is just that we didn't score more. I mean, for me, it's quite embarrassing that we held the ball in the corner to try and waste time against relegated Norwich City. They're bottom of the Premier League. They're going down to the Championship, 21 points, and we were fighting for our lives to get 3 points. Now, I'm not saying it should just be a walk in the park, because they're still a professional team. But come on, if we want to be challenging for the title next year, like a lot of Chelsea fans are saying, we should have at least got 2 or 3 goals past them. They had no shots on target, which we did do quite well defensively, keeping them out. But we had like 18 shots, like, I don't know what it was, a few on target. We should have buried some more. And I'm quite gutted that we didn't. Obviously, Giroud, great goal. He got in the right position. And for me, that's what Giroud does. He sees a position, he gets his head on it, bang, you know it's a goal. And I'm not trying to dig Tammy out, but for me, I don't think Tammy could have done that. When Tammy did come on, I know he was only on for 5 minutes, but you could just tell Giroud should be our second striker. That's my opinion anyway. I'm not sure what a lot of Chelsea fans think on Tammy and Giroud, but definitely for me, Giroud should be our number 2 when Timo Werner comes. I know he's getting old now, but he's still got a few seasons left in him. Now, the defence, I don't really have anything negative to say because they did their job. It was more the attack today. There was no goals coming. There was like that one goal from Giroud. Apart from that, it was pretty dead up front. Pulisic did have a good shot in the first half on the crossbar, and in the second half, he did have another good shot. Giroud flicked him through. But yeah, they've got that good link up. But like I said, defence, not really any problems with today. Frank got his subs right again. Well, again, Sheffield, they weren't the best, but before that game, he's done some good subs, and I'm quite happy with how Frank did it today. And main thing is we got the 3 points, so I'm happy with that. Cheers.
Hello guys, CFC Alex here, and this is going to be a short review of Chelsea 1, Norwich 0. Obviously, job done, great result in the end. 3 points definitely puts us in a good position in terms of the top 4 and puts pressure on Leicester and Man U to perform in the following couple of games, and possibly even Wolves. Obviously, they are a team that could go inside the top 4. But I do feel like this game, there was a lack of intensity, and it kind of felt like we were just passing about, like having a slow build-up until the last 18 yards inside the opposition's half. And look, to be honest, I do feel like there's a difference between doing that against Norwich, who really obviously are going to be relegated and are just playing for pride. And there's a difference between that and doing so against Man United, who are trying to win a trophy, against Liverpool, who are trying to get records points, and against Wolves, who are really aiming for the top 4. You can't play with that intensity. You've got to do better. Great service from the fullbacks. I have to say, I'm very proud of Alonso and Cesar Azpilicueta in terms of the service. But yeah, I mean, the end product was just not there. I mean, it really, look, I think what's really important is that you're not going to get those types of service as much when you're going to be playing against United, Liverpool, Wolves. Those type of teams are not going to be as open in the center of the box as Norwich were, and you've got to capitalize on that. And Giroud, unfortunately, didn't really so much. I mean, he had 8 shots and 1 goal. Look, credit for him for the goal, but let's be honest, 8 shots. The amount of opportunities he's missed, yeah, I mean, there were times where he could relax. He didn't have to rush it. But yeah, look, it is what it is, and at least he scored and we kept the clean sheet. Look, despite that, I don't think he deserves the man of the match. I think there could be a case for Willian, because obviously he was constantly trying to put in crosses, and he constantly helped us in the defense and the attack, which is very different compared to Pulisic, who we saw a lot of in the opposition's half, in the attacking areas. Obviously, very much doing what Eden Hazard would do when he was around at Chelsea. There's also a case that Azpilicueta, I mean, could actually deserve the man of the match here. I mean, the crosses were unbelievable, and that's a reason why he should be playing at right back and not a left back. these sorts of crosses, he delivers them very well from the right, but he can't do them from the left. And so that's the importance of having a natural left back, someone who can do what Aspie does on the left, and finding that player is going to be key for next season. Rudiger was surprisingly good. I'm very surprised. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, like, obviously he's been, well, yeah, criticized a lot over the past few games, but today he was very good. You know, 4 interceptions, 119 accurate passes, which is a percentage of 92.2%, 13 out of 19 accurate long balls, 3 out of 4 aerial duels won. I mean, that's pretty good from Rudiger today. Yeah, I mean, there's not much really I can say about him. And just to end it off, I think, look, there's a lot of criticisms of Jorginho today. I don't quite understand, because there are people who are saying he's uninterested, he's not doing well. But look, I mean, the guy is a deep line playmaker. He's obviously supposed to be playing in the low blocks. And you got to look at the passing options for him first. Like, where were really the passing options for him in forward areas? I didn't see much. So you can criticize Jorginho as much as you want. The options that were being provided to him by obviously his teammates wasn't a lot. And yeah, look, he was also, you know, trying at times to win the ball back when the opposition went on the counter. So that's not someone who's uninterested. Anyways, guys, yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll catch you guys later.
Chelsea 1, Norwich 0. We've got a massive 3 points in all truth. I want to start with that before going into reviewing the game quite quickly. I think we needed this win tonight. We massively needed it. You know, results are going our way. I can see Leicester dropping more points in the final stretch of the season, and today was all about winning, of course, and we got that win. So first and foremost, 3 points. It's a massive 3 points. It really is, and it could actually just drag us across the line at the end of the season, but more on that point, it kind of does look like we are dragging ourselves across the line. Again, the performance today, for me, was really, really poor. I just didn't know what I was watching out there. The lack of fight, the lack of desire. I thought coming into this game, there'll be a massive reaction. Everyone would say, come on, let's go out there, let's batter Norwich, let's get a load of goals here, let's pump the confidence back up, let's make a statement here that we're getting top 4. But no, how slow was the game today, guys? How slow was it? And you know, if it was against a side that who actually cared a little bit more, that last 10 minutes would have been a lot more nervy than it was, and we've seen that against Palace, you know, and teams with a little more quality. Thankfully, Norwich never got a set piece, really, and never got like a corner or anything in the last 10 minutes and didn't threaten enough, so we survived ultimately. But for me, the performance was so lacklustre, and that was really disappointing to see tonight. And I just think right now we're kind of hobbling towards the end of the season. You know, I'm not looking forward to the games like I was. I just feel that there's a bit of an issue right now at Chelsea. I don't know, with management, with players, if their squad is a little bit stale, and it's a good sign to see that we are looking at signings, because this team clearly needs a boost. And right now there is just, you don't know whether there's enough quality, you don't know whether there's enough fight for the badge, and I worried really for large parts of that game. We got the goal, of course, Pulisic, great play from him, great ball into Giroud, and that's how simple it is against a side like Norwich. They were terrible at defending balls into the box all day, and credit to Giroud. What a man, you know. He wasn't that good today, I didn't feel. He was missing quite a few chances, but what a vital goal that is. What a big header that could be if we look back at the end of the season and say, yeah, that's when Giroud steered us into top 4. And he's got some massive goals, you know, the goal against Villa, the goal against Palace. He's such a good player for us, Giroud, and he's proving himself yet again. He got a massive goal today. But other than that, I don't really know what to talk about. What a stale game. I just think overall, going forward into that Man United game, into that Liverpool game, I just worry. I really do. I can't see how we beat or even draw against these sides playing how we are with the quality we've got on the pitch and just the way things are going for us right now. I can't see how that happens. We just got to sit back now, watch the results, scan over everything, and just, you know, with our fingers crossed, pray that a few results go our way. If Leicester keep dropping points, then by that final game against Wolves, we may only need a point out of our final 2 games, in fact, in the Premier League. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of performances today, I would say Kovacic for me was really, really good. He came back into the side. For me, our player of the season, you could say Pulisic, but he was injured for quite a lot of it. I think consistently Kovacic has been superb for me, and he was really great again today. But yeah, like I said, for Chelsea performance-wise, not a lot to talk about. I was disappointed, I really was, but ultimately we got our 3 points. We move on to United now, who will have, you know, a lot less rest than us, which is a positive thing. But I think, you know, I wouldn't really rate the rest that we get if we're just going to be playing like that once we get it. So, you know, I don't know how much that'll play a part in it. Or overall, though, guys, like I say, vital 3 points. Just a little bit disappointed with the performance. We move on now. We hope a few results go our way, and then we've got some massive games coming up. I really worry for them, I do, but you know, if we can get across the line, if we can beat Wolves on the final day, I think we've got top 4 no matter what happens. So, you know, fingers crossed for that. Performance today just says that these last 3 games of the season, you know, excluding Bayern Munich really, are going to be super tough. So, yeah, that's where I'm going to end this one. Vital 3 points for Chelsea, up the Blues.